Sometimes you wish you could go back and ask your teachers again to guide you. So what are we going to do? Changing up the order of service? What's it look like?
I've got, I've got it back in my office. I'll print it off for you. The main thing is we're going to do the announcements at the end rather than at the beginning.
After
So
the
we kind of build the energy, the sacred energy, and go into prayer and then the message, and then before the circle, after the offering, then do the, here's how to get together. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
yeah, we try it.
And we've still got you at the top doing the daily word.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. And we're having fun here this morning. We've got our techno crew of Glenn and Beverly and Kaya who are running the cameras and the sound system and all. And David and I are up here to welcome you into the building in spirit this day. And then, of course, next Sunday will be our first Sunday regathered in our sacred space together. And we'll rearrange the sanctuary a little bit, but plan on coming and being part of this wonderful celebration. Go from our little Zoom squares into full presence. And by now, I'm hoping you've all received your invitation. If not, it'll be there, I'm sure, by Monday as a reminder. And we included the gift, The Power of Prayer, which is a really wonderful unity booklet. And prayer is what held us together this last year and a half. Prayer and gratitude and grace have kept us linked as one. And so we thought, what a perfect book to gift each one of us with for our new beginning. So the power of prayer, the power of presence. And so with that, let us sing Come Light, Light of God as David lights the Christ candle. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with our world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. And so, as lights of God, let us claim who and what we are. We are an authentic, transformative spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And just go ahead now, picture us coming together next Sunday. And as we each prepare for this wonderful, blessed reopening and re-encountering in person, let us say this one more time, setting the energetic field in this place in our hearts as we prepare for this exciting Sunday. So once more, we are an authentic, transformative, spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. May our opening be an expression of this mantra of who and what we are. So we welcome you to Unity. I don't have my laptop here, so let me check and see, is Simon here yet? Simon is not here yet, so we will shift to our intrepid David to do the announcements and let us know when Simon comes on, and then we'll do our songs.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Labyrinth. And so this morning I found this quote, and I thought I would pass it along as we get ready for the journey of the labyrinth. Sometimes you wish you could go back and ask your teachers again to guide you. But up here on the stage of life is exactly where they always wanted you to be. You must simply find your way. They have given you all the help that they can. The only person who can solve the labyrinth of yourself is you. And we'll get more of that as we look into the daily word and then also with the message of the day. So, we do have a number of announcements. They're the same ones I've been up here with for the last couple of weeks. Meditations on Monday at 4 o'clock with the Ananda group, on Thursdays at 5:30 with the Tibetan group here in the sanctuary, and then on the second and fourth Thursdays with the Kirtan, and that's at 7 o'clock. So all on the website, so go to unitypt.org. You should be doing that every day anyways for your daily inspiration, and find out what's really going on. Of course, Wednesday at high noon, we continue on with our prayer and meditation time. I think we'll continue that all the way through once we even get back into the building. We may even do it in the building. So just be aware, high noon, show up on your Zoom and take a break in your week and get a chance to recenter and recalibrate. So as Pam said, next Sunday we are here in the sanctuary. And instead of doing a potluck and barbecue, we are going to do something different. We're going to have a congratulations, happy birthday cake, happy coming out cake, a welcome home to Unity cake and coffee. So that'll be following the service. So be prepared to stick around a little bit longer and say hello to people we haven't seen in a long time. Maybe you see their faces. And so anyway, next Sunday here in the sanctuary, so dress up and come on in. And by the way, for those that aren't dressing up, feel free to go back on Zoom. We will be live casting the service, and we'll continue to do that service as time goes on. Then that is it for the announcements. Pretty straightforward. So let's go to the daily word, which follows on this quest, this labyrinth theme. The daily word for today is journey. My life's journey begins and ends in the heart of God. I feel excitement at the beginning of a journey, thinking about the adventures, the beautiful sights, and the fascinating people I will find at my journey's end. Even as I look forward to reaching my destination, however, I remain alert, open to the adventures and insights that await discovery along the way. My faith tells me that my spiritual journey began in the heart of God, long before my human birth. At childhood, I looked outward, longing for adventure that would become waypoints on my journey to maturity. Now I journey inward, longing for the spiritual home I never really left. I am learning that even the most ordinary day can become an opportunity to realize the heart of God is present everywhere. And from the psalmist, the Lord will keep you going out and you're coming in from this time on and forevermore. My life journey begins and ends in the heart of God. My day's journey begins and ends in the heart of God. This moment begins and ends in the heart of God. And so it is.
Norm, do you have something that you want to tell us?
Seeing you and hearing the word.
I thought I saw you raise your hand.
Oh, I was just waving because I'm not used to seeing myself on the
Okay.
little screeny up here. I'm a
All
new.
right.
I have
All
no
right.
idea what I'm doing.
You're doing great.
Thank you for your patience as we experience a few little techno glitches along the way. Apparently, Simon has not joined us quite yet. So I was sitting there and I had this wonderful inspiration, particularly after the daily word of life is journey, of singing I Am Home as our lead into meditation today, because that's really what this is all about. So Glenn has it prepared and he can lead us in I Am Home. So I welcome you to settle in to a time of prayer and meditation that truly links this outer connection we have with this inner connection we have that knows no bounds of time or space. For as soon as we all found each other, we knew we were truly home. I am home.
I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Settle in now into this holy moment, knowing you are ever home in the heart of God and in the heart of unity. Feel yourself surrounded, enfolded, and uplifted in the very presence of the divine. Feel Mother Earth beneath your feet and know that where you stand is holy ground. Feel Father Sky above your head and know that the holy unfolding of the universe is all around you, and above you is holy sky. And all around you, the presence of the divine in infinite forms of creation. See the created world as truly holy in all of its expressions. And unite your heart with those all around this globe, in body and in spirit, who seek to walk the path of peace for one and all. And know that as you unite with them, we are doing truly holy work, bringing the presence of the divine into our world, in, through, and as us, as the peace that is that presence, and as the love that unfolds from that peace as the presence of God. Peace and love in prayer is truly holy work. And now allow yourself, exactly as you are in this moment and exactly as your journey is unfolding right now, to center into this place of peace, into this circle of kindred souls. Knowing that you are truly a beloved child of God and that the presence is ever with you. Bring your life and yourself into this holy moment and receive the gifts from the Hebrew scriptures and from the letters of Paul in the New Testament. First, Psalm 139. Hear these words and let them infill you and comfort you, guide you and inspire you right here and right now. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Oh, such knowledge is so wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become as night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am wonderfully made. you are a beloved child of God. And from Romans 8, for I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all of creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. Nothing will be able to separate us from the love of the divine, from the divine presence. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. And filled and nourished, energized and sustained, filled with a peace that passes all understanding and the conditional expression that is you, that expresses unconditional love when you seek to be this presence in our shared world. As this presence, I invite you now to bring all of the prayers that are yours this day into this holy moment, exactly where you are and as you are. Share these prayers silently or aloud, however you are so guided, and feel all of us there with you, walking beside you through this journey and uplifting your prayers with you and looking all around the created world to watch for the unfolding of these prayers. Let us pray. We bring into this moment also of the prayers entrusted to the High Watch prayer chaplains and those sent in this moment soul to soul. Allow your heart to begin to overflow with gratitude for this abiding presence that expresses in, through, and as you, and in, through, and as our shared world. And on that wave of gratitude, renew your dedication to walk the path of peace, of love, of grace, and of light, knowing that wherever you are, God is, and all is well. And therefore, wherever you are home. Let us now seal this time once again with I am home, shifting from this inner spiritual sanctuary and home back out into our shared world. And as you sing I am home, when the moment is right, open your eyes and realize how profoundly true these words are for you this day. Okay, go ahead and do it.
I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. One more time. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. Sorry I'm extremely late, everybody. I don't know if Pam can hear me. Can Pam hear me? I'm wondering whether we should sing Blue Go
Okay, so
Home.
I am home. Okay, so welcome. So I understand Simon is with us now. So Simon, we have gone through and done the prayer and meditation and sealed that with the I am home. And so I invite you now to lead us in a song and do special music. Okay.
Perfect. Love it.
So hard
I'm
when I
going to
can't
do
see.
the 23rd Psalm. So the first line is always repeated, and you're at home and nobody can sing, nobody can hear you, so you can sing as loud as you want. It's great. So I will sing a line and you can repeat it, and you'll pick up most of the song. Yahweh is my shepherd. Yahweh is my shepherd, and I won't lack for anything I need. Yahweh makes me lie down. Yahweh makes me lie down in fields of grass and pleasant green, and gives me peace. Yahweh guides my pathway. Yahweh guides my pathway to quiet waters. God leads me to drink, and I will drink. I will drink. Yahweh restores my soul. Yahweh restores my soul, so I can walk in righteousness for God's name's sake. When I walk through the valley, I'll fear no evil, for I know you are with me. Your rod and your staff, you comfort me. You comfort me. Yahweh prepares the table. Yahweh prepares the table in the presence of all my fears. Yahweh blesses me. Yahweh blesses me, and on my head oil is pouring, pour over me. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all my days, all my days. Ready? Yahweh is my shepherd. Here we go. Yahweh is my shepherd. Yahweh is my shepherd, and I will dwell in God's house forevermore, forevermore. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Welcome. We wanted to be sure that Simon was a part of the service this day, even though we knew it would be a bit of a techno challenge, because we'll be going to full live music starting on next Sunday, our first Sunday back in. And it's just that evolving story of the journey that we're all on together. And so looking forward to next Sunday and enjoying this Sunday equally, because it's all about being present right where you are on the path. Whether things are going smoothly or whether there are snafus, it's trusting that the presence of the divine is with you and that you are doing the best you can at a given moment, and that every moment is also an opportunity to grow and to learn and to expand. This month, our spiritual practice from the Celtic tradition for the soul's slow ripening is walking the rounds, and that's really becoming profoundly present in the now, rather than journeying into the past and what was, or fear of what's going to happen in the future. It's really being present in the moment. And it comes from the tradition of when you encounter a holy place, you would walk clockwise 3, 7, or 12 times around it, a spiritual number, and just become present. When we meditate each morning, that's kind of our way of walking the rounds and letting the outer world kind of fade away and move into a place of center. Last week, we talked about traveling on the journey. We talked about fires and wells that guide us and nourish us along the way. Today's talk is on inspiring circles and labyrinths. It's about consciously walking the path of your soul journey. Ursula Le Guin said, "Very seldom do you come to a space when you may stop and simply be, or wonder after all who you are." It's taking the time to do that, a little bit each day, and at times of renewal as well. Little renewals, bigger renewals, they're all part of the journey. When you travel across the desert, you never go past an oasis without stopping, drinking the sweet water, communing with those who were there, and being overflowing with gratitude for the presence of this oasis in the midst of the desert. Don't run past your oases. Take the time to notice them and then walk around them and become really present so that they can offer you the nourishment and the guidance that you need. Life is built not in straight lines, but in circles. Nature has curves and circles everywhere. Our very planet is an orb, a great globe, a circle, floating in the cosmos with other great circles and orbs, held in orbits that are elliptical patterns of movement that hold everything in divine order in the midst of infinite shifts and changes. Around us, we have our moon, and as we go around the sun, the moon goes around us. And it's very reflective of our lives. We tend to be very geocentric, and we forget that we're going around the sun. The sun's not going around us, as they thought at one point in history. And it's remembering that divine light is at the center of the universe, and you move as a spark of light around it. And so you are this light of God, part of God, an expression that moves around the very center of all of the creative life that is the divine presence. When we fall in love and marry someone, we usually exchange rings as symbols of enduring and abiding love, because a ring is a circle without beginning and without end. My favorite symbol has always been a spiral, which is a circle that is shifting and moving upward in expression, not broken, continuing, but elevating. And I believe that's what we do as we grow in consciousness. And it's also why we have certain soul issues that we found ourselves encountering again and again and again as you go around. But hopefully you've learned since the last time you made that circuit, and this time it looks a little bit different because you are different. You have grown, you have shifted in your consciousness so that you can encounter a similar challenge but handle it differently each time it comes to you. It's not about perfection, it's about practice. It's about doing the work. In Cynthia Bourgeau's book, she says the mark of a true apostle is simply one who was willing to do the work, to live the message and not just think about it, but to embody that presence of the divine. And so labyrinths are these wonderful spiritual patterns. They're ancient. They go back to the very beginnings of time, even though one of the most popular ones in our world now is in Chartres Cathedral. And Lauren Artris really introduced us as a culture to this incredible spiritual tradition of walking the labyrinth. And so it's invited all of us to realize the importance of ritual path walking, whether it's here in Port Townsend or whether it's walking the labyrinth at Chartres. One of the things that's interesting is that I found myself as I prepared this talk realizing that in the last year and a half with the pandemic, we've been in a labyrinth together. We've been held together in this circle of life on this globe as we've been having this experience. And that it's a spiritual experience. It's challenging. You never know what to expect, but it's held in the arms of the divine. There's another tradition that's called a maze. And those are famous. There are many famous stories about mazes. But the difference is a maze is meant to get you turned and twisted around and get you lost because there's no pattern that you can perceive. A labyrinth has a pattern. You don't know exactly where the next step is going to take you within that pattern, but you trust that there is a pattern that will take you to the center where the rosette of enlightenment is, and then will again take you back out into your life transformed. It's not meant to make you lost. It's meant to make you trust the pattern that is there if you believe truly in the presence of the divine, and that nothing can separate you from that. There's one quote I came across years ago that said, the point of the maze is to try and find the center, but the point of the labyrinth is to find your center. Because if you just go step by step, as you do the pattern, you will inevitably get to the center. And then what I love is you get into the center, and there are people who just walk out from there. I've never been able to do that because I've realized that the process of walking in brought me to the space where I could truly breathe and be present in the center. And that I didn't want to just do that and then leave it behind. I wanted to carry whatever comfort, wisdom, compassion that I found in the center. I wanted to hold it close as I walked back out through the pattern, so that when I step out of the labyrinth, I bring with me the gifts that I received while I was there. In Chartres, the labyrinth was built in the 1100s, 1200s. It's it's part of the medieval spirituality, wherein this wave of interfaith movement was taking place in France and in northern Italy. It was a place the Cathars arose. It's the honoring of Magdalene and Jesus. It's the recognition of the Church of Amor, the Church of Love, rather than the Church of Roma. And this labyrinth pattern was created then. It is still there. One day a week, the chairs are taken off so that you can walk the path during the peak parts of the summer. And to do it is quite amazing. You can look online, and there are videos of walking this. So if you've never been, use your divine gift of imagination and allow yourself to experience the labyrinth online as you commune with it. Because in spirit, there's no time and space, and so you can absolutely experience it as well. But let me bring to you my experience. One of the first things that I did was I took off my shoes. I felt like I saw a few people doing that, and I really wanted to feel the energy. And as I stepped in, I remembered the scripture I talked about last Sunday, that where you stand is holy ground. And I wanted to feel the energy of the stones and of all of the thousands of years of people who have walked this sacred place in prayer, in meditation, with a spiritual intention of being blessed and then blessing. And it was amazing because I could actually feel the energy that has been built up in that sacred space by all the pilgrims who'd gone before me. And hopefully I left my blessings along with theirs for whoever comes after. One of the things as I walked it that I became aware of was how deep below the cathedral went. The foundations of the first Christian church are down below, and below that is the Druid high altar. And in the crypt is the Lady of the Crypt, who's one of my favorite Black Madonnas. And there is a well, an ancient well. We talked about wells last week. The importance of a holy well in a sacred place. And as I walked the labyrinth, I could feel the depth of earth and faith and the flow of the divine beneath me. And then I looked up and I could see the beautiful stained glass windows with the light pouring in, particularly that rare Chartres blue that's not seen anywhere else and any other stained glass windows. And they completely surround the labyrinth, and the light comes through them and shines light in different places on the labyrinth at different times. And that light that shines through is these amazing colors. And I find myself remembering, can you imagine if you were a medieval pilgrim who comes through the doors and sees the labyrinth, goes and drinks from the holy well, comes up to walk the labyrinth, and then, never seen even clear glass, sees glass, and this soaring ceiling that gives you a sense of the beautiful dance of spirit above us, that the light shines through and meets us right where we are on the path. There's this sense of being blessed from above, even as you were being blessed from below. And as you walk the labyrinth, there is a clear pattern to it that when you look at it from up above, you can see. But when you're down walking it, you can't see it. All you see is the patterns in intricate patterns around you, and you just take the next step where the path leads, where it's open and it's not stopped. And so you twist and you turn and you go all different directions. And it represents 4 quadrants that you move between as you do this. And the 4 quadrants represent the 4 elements, the 4 directions, the 4 aspects of being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It represents all of these different aspects and how, as you live your life, you're dancing with all of them. Focusing sometimes on study, on other times love, but all held within the pattern and the energetic field of life. And so you walk the patterns, and eventually you come to center, and you get to stay there however long you want. People come and join you and then go out. And it is this place of peace and prayer and presence. And so you walk the labyrinth, and then once you reach this place, then you're invited to walk the pattern back out again. And one of the things that I love the most about it is not just the unpredictability of where I'm going to put my feet next, but who I'm going to encounter. I've been blessed to walk this with fellow pilgrims that are people that I hold near and dear. And it was so neat to watch us as we walk this pattern, different people in different places. And you think, oh, I'm getting ready to see. And then they take, and their path leads them there, and yours brings you over here. And instead of coming closer, you end up farther apart. And then you may come back together. You may encounter someone unexpected. And that's part of the beauty of the labyrinth, is encountering not only your soul work as you walk this pattern, but encountering the pilgrims who are walking this pattern with you. And I had such a strong image of us walking, not a maze of chaos, but a labyrinth of presence as we have moved through this last year and a half together. There have been times where we thought we were moving toward center and that this was behind us. And then the next thing we knew, we'd be back out on the periphery, far away from one another again, but still held in the sacred embrace of the pattern. There have been times where we have encountered one another as we've walked this labyrinth. Frequently in QFC or the Co-op or Safeway with masks on, and it's, oh, there you are. And what a wonderful surprise to run into people. Sometimes people over the last few months now will pop into Unity just to say hi. And it's like on the labyrinth, you turn and it's like, oh, there you are. It's so good to see you. I also realized as I was working on this that there were those who've walked this labyrinth with us who at some point during this pandemic completed the labyrinth walk of life and stepped out. And the labyrinth goes on. We are still connected to them in love. My mother couldn't walk the labyrinth when I went there one time with her. She sat in a chair on the outside of the labyrinth and watched all of us walk it. She held us in love and in prayer and in presence as we walked the labyrinth. And I carried a ring for her, so she was walking it with me. And when I went back and handed her ring with my blessing, she said, oh, honey, she said, I walked that with all of you. I got to be here from a higher viewpoint and watch. And I found myself thinking of my mother in spirit and those who have gone back to spirit during the course of this year and how they are sitting there holding us in love as we continue the journey of life, holding us in prayer and presence, even though they're not in the labyrinth with us now. They are part of the greater labyrinth, that labyrinth of shards is just an outer symbol of something that is infinite. And so we have been walking a labyrinth that may not have an order that we even understand completely yet. I know I don't. But I do know that in the course of this, I have learned to center in a deeper way than ever before. I've become more willing to let life unfold as it unfolds and to do my best to trust that, even when it carries me and us in directions that are unexpected. To really get that we are held in the arms and the presence of the divine. And the beauty and the joy of getting to do it together, where we get to encounter one another in expected and unexpected ways. And that because we trust this presence within this labyrinth, we trust it beyond into the greater labyrinth. So that we are one in love with all that has been, all that is yet to be, but held in this divine and holy moment. One of the lessons that I learned on one of my trips to walk the labyrinth was I went with Sharon Meddy. That was the trip my mother went on. And one of our assignments was to find the place on the labyrinth that was ours to be and to hold the consciousness. And each one of us found our place. We walked and meditated, and it just was like, this is it. And so she had told us to do this process. And we went in early in the morning to the cathedral. She said, walk 3 times and see and find your place. And in one of the 3 walks, you'll find it. So the first time I go in to walk the labyrinth, and the chairs are still there. And I asked the priest, I said, aren't the chairs supposed to be gone today so we can walk the labyrinth? And he said, well, we're investing some new priests, so we may not even pick the chairs up today. And I said, oh, this is the one day I have to walk the labyrinth, and there are many of us that have come from far away. And is there a chance you'll please pick them up later? And it was interesting. He said, you don't need to walk the labyrinth. Just go talk to the priest in the office. That's where you do your true spiritual work. And I just, in my heart of hearts, it's like, no, hold the intention. So I held the intention that I would walk the Chartres Labyrinth at some point that day. And then I went out and I thought, what am I going to do? And then I remembered we were staying at what had been the convent that goes with Chartres Cathedral. And in the garden there is a labyrinth that Lauren Artres made. And I thought, I will go back there. In fact, our very own Jan was part of one of Lauren's trips that helped create this. And so I went back and I walked this little labyrinth outdoors in the garden behind this former convent where we were staying. And it was magical and it was beautiful, realizing that this had been created by other pilgrims that were in the modern times. Each one of the stones and crystals had been set there with intention. And so I walked it under this beautiful sky, and I realized as I did this walk that there was this incredible blessing when the priest said, no, you can't do it here. I found a labyrinth, and it was outdoors, created consciously, and there for me to find and to walk. Wasn't the labyrinth I was expecting, but it was the labyrinth that I needed. And so I went back a little later, And sure enough, the chairs had been moved, and I walked the Chartres labyrinth in meditation, found my spot, and sat and meditated at the completion of that process for a while. And then I went back out. And then for my third time, I came back at the very end of the day. It was the last hour or two before the cathedral would begin to put the chairs back over. And I came in, and there's a huge group of young people that were like late teens, early 20s, came pouring into the cathedral. They'd come in on a bus, it turned out. And they walked through the cathedral, and they did the labyrinth. And then what they did was they formed this circle around the labyrinth. And they invited everyone to come join them. And so we all of us that felt called to do this, stood around the labyrinth. And then they began to sing and chant and danced. And we danced the Chartres labyrinth on the circumference, blessing the whole path, the center, the whole path, as we danced the circumference. And it was so wonderful because I realized that this was another gift that I'd been given, that if the outer world says no, hold your spiritual intention and then allow it to find you and to call you to where you need to be gifted and to share your gifts, and then trust it even to the point that you go back and you do it with complete joy as you realize nothing can limit spirit. Nothing. And I want you all to know that here in this sanctuary, during one of our winter solstice concerts with the singing bowls, we had a bunch of singing bowls and instruments here. And as I prayed and meditated, I pictured the labyrinth at Chartres. And as I was doing that, this beautiful image of it embedded right here in the sanctuary, and it was just made of light. And I spoke to one or two people, and I said, we can put a labyrinth here. And I invited other people who were praying and meditating to join me in blessing this place with the energy of the labyrinth. And I can feel it here still. And so when you walk into the building next week, know that you are walking into the Unity Spiritual Enrichment Center that we co-created together. And that for us lies kind of at the heart and center of our labyrinth of life. It's not an accident that it's called a center. It's a place to come and be centered, to join others. We're even on Center Street, on our side street. So over and over we're reminded, walk the path. Take the time to center in. And once you have, take the gifts and the renewal you have been given, carry them near and dear, and go back out to the very circumference of your life. There's a wonderful saying from Henry Miller. One's destination is never a place. It's a new way of seeing things. The labyrinth is about this new way of seeing things. At Trinity Gardens in Whitehaven, England, are these words. I invite you to incorporate these words in the journey of your soul and this labyrinth of life that we are blessed to share. Here are the words. Walk this path with an open heart and mind, seeking awareness as you journey. Blessings on your journey. May the labyrinth sing and dance with you and as you every day of your life. Simon, would you unite us as we unite our voices in song? Blessings.
That was amazing. Pam can't hear me, but you all can. And I I am very fond of the spiritual practice of Labyrinths, as many of you are. And I actually know some of the people that made that second Labyrinths that Pam was talking about. I met them before I ever met any of you. And Jan, if you're watching, you were one of those people, weren't you? We are going to sing In This Moment by Michael Gott. It's one of my favorite Unity songs. He's a New Thought musician. I totally love this. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside to quiet my mind, I hear a spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. I think I'm going to be passing to David, but I don't know because I don't know whose platform I'm in today.
Come on. Well, welcome back. Thank you, Pam. At Unity Village, there is a labyrinth that's painted in the parking lot. And it's a very large parking lot with this labyrinth painted there. And it is used on a regular basis by numbers of people. So about 5 or 6 years ago, when a person named Jim Blake took over leadership at the village and rebuilding and revisioning what the village would be and how it would be the center, one of the things that he dreamed about and envisioned was a labyrinth that wasn't painted in a parking lot. And that vision has caught on, and there's a big plaza that the tower is in between the education building of the former place where the ministerial students were housed and the Silent Unity Village. And in that big yard space in between and out in front of that is a bunch of fountains, is the place where the new labyrinth is going, and it's going to be absolutely stunning. I know that the price tag on it is over $200,000. That much I do know. So it's going to be an amazing, amazing place for people to come, because the village is envisioning itself as a spiritual center, much like we have here in this building, for all walks of life to come and experience spirit on those holy grounds. And so anyway, look forward to that. And I think they're going to break ground this year, so maybe next year when I go back down to the village, I can bring back some pictures of a new labyrinth. So, okay. Oh, it's the time where we do the offertory. So I invite you all to take out your offertory, your tithe, your contribution, your love and time and talents. Hold them in your consciousness, and we will bless that as we do here each week. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I received, and I am grateful. As the daily word today was journey. My journey starts and ends in the heart of God. As we dropped in through the portal of birth and we exit through the portal of transition, we are always connected with the divine. And we in our little egos sometimes forget that. And I think our job here on the planet is just to be reminded of who and what we really are. A manifestation of the Most High. So we take these gifts that come forward to this community and we repurpose them with that intention that each person may find their part of the divine within and express it. Express it in all that they do, to all that they meet. Lighting their heart with somebody else's heart, and so and so and so, until all the hearts find that spark within. So in our journey on this labyrinth on the planet, and this labyrinth through life, where we go back to center and spend time and commune with the divine, we also have to journey out. And we journey all the way out of the labyrinth. And that is where the manifestation occurs. That is the place at which we become fully embodied human and embodied with the divine. So we receive these gifts with the great intention to send that forward, let it flourish, that each person may go through the labyrinth of their life and stand on the periphery and be the presence of the divine. And in doing so, we shall create heaven on earth. And so it is. Amen. So, Simon, do we have an offertory song? Unknown
Yes,
Blessings. Oh, wonderful. So,
Well,
just for the viewing audience, you have to understand that Pam and I have no clue what Simon's doing here, so we're getting hand signals, yes and no, but Unknown Blessings. There you go. Take it away, Simon.
so I was actually going to switch it around, but they don't know that, so I might sneak in an extra song afterwards. Let's sing Unknown Blessings, and then I have a very interesting little video for us. Yes, they don't know what I'm doing. I can run away with the show and do all sorts of stuff. Now we got your lyrics on the side there. Now this is there's many things in our sanctuary. I was delighted to hear Pam talking about Short Cathedral Labyrinth in our space. But one of the other things that's, there's so many loved ones, and Ben wrote this song and he came and he sang it for us, and then he died a few days later, and the blessing of this song I feel is in the room as well. And when I was thinking about a song for Labyrinth, Unknown Blessings is the one that jumped out at me. Oh, the stars above us twinkle. Yeah, they put on quite a show. They say the light that meets our eyes today was born 1,000,000 years ago. And it spells out quite a story in strands of DNA. The same spark that birthed the universe is born in us today. Ready? And they're already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way. And again, already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way. Now this world is a funhouse mirror. Sometimes you feel just like a clown. Everything's distorted, everything seems upside down, and the truth it gets twisted, like a rope gets torn and frayed, till you feel like you can't hold on no more, like it just might slip away. And they're already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way, already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way. Well, now history's a spiral. Sometimes it's hard to see through the smoke and the blood and the tear gas that it's a path of victory. It's a crooked road we walk upon, strung with miracles upon the way. But like raindrops to the ocean, we'll make it there someday. And we're already on our way, already on our way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way, already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way. Now, before I move into the peace song, because I didn't get to share stuff earlier, there's one more musical thing I'd really love to share with you. And it's interesting because in my own service with Suquamish UCC, I was talking about COVID today, and I wish I'd heard Pam's sermon first, because that metaphor of the labyrinth is just so perfect. And just to weave in COVID and the labyrinth, I've got a little video here that I'd love to share with you. It's called the Keep Going On song, and there were these two dancers in New York City got stuck in their apartment and they set the song into this wee dance. I'll put the link in the chat so you can watch it again many times later. Oh, wait a minute, you can't hear that. I'll give you the sound.
Keep going on, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song.
I am Abigail, and this is Sean, and we're so glad that you've turned this on and welcomed us into your home, and you are welcome into our home. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We're in Sean's parents' house.
My parents' house.
Sean's parents' house. We were in Louisville when the shit hit, and we packed our 3-year-old into a car. We drove kind of far. We drove here, and we've been so lucky and blessed to be safely here. And we thought we'd be here for like 10 days, tops.
What did we know?
What did we know?
What
What did we know? We thought we knew a lot. We thought we knew a lot. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. And we've been mostly healthy. We've been okay. Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? I hope your body is whole tonight. And if your heart is breaking, I hope it's breaking open. And if your breath is shaking, I hope it's shaking through. And I hope that you've watched a lot of really great television, like a lot of it. And I hope that you find a hand lotion that actually makes your skin feel better. And I hope that you have enough to eat. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and I hope you have enough good company or enough good memory to last you a long time. Keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on, song.
as we find our way into the center of the labyrinth. Find moments to be still and be authentic and real, and then come back out. Glad you all enjoyed that. And David and Pam have no idea what we're talking about, which is very odd. COVID is such a strange thing. Hey, I'm going to sing the peace song now. Maybe somebody can tell them that I'm about to do that. And I just want to say that my heart will be so present in the room with you next week when many of you gather. Many of you gather. All right, let's sing the peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, that peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And as the light of God we shine, and as the love of God we embrace, and as the power of God we stand in truth, and as the presence of God we express our divinity in all that we do. And all is well. All right, so remember, next week, live right here at Unity Spiritual Enrichment Center, will be bodies in these chairs.
Instead of live at Saturday night, it'll be live at Sunday morning.
And we will also be on Zoom. So either way, show up, be present, and have a wonderful week walking your labyrinth. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, amen, and blessed be. And I will ring the church cathedral gong while
And I
you
will
do
blow
the
out
candle.
Christ candle.
And so we send the blessings of this place in the circle of the singing bowl out to the universe. May you be blessing and blessed. And now we shift to coffee hour.
Everybody, it was so lovely to see your faces popping up on the screen there at the end. Oh my God, so lovely to see everybody.
So we can all turn on our cameras and our microphones.
Yeah, and I'll turn the pins off if I can.
Stan, I don't know who I'm staying with, so I better
Turn it to gallery view.
Callie wants to do a call like right now. If you're busy.
Luca.
Oh, it's so good to see everybody. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Oh, I was having technical snafu after technical snafu, so I'm sorry I was so late today, but I really wanted to be here on the last service where everybody was online. Look at your little dog, Ron.
I think her name's Trinity. Shop local. She's going to Silver. We appreciate that.
Hey, Ron, what's the your dog?
Let me find how to turn the mic on.
Now you're on.
Yeah. Oh, this is Yodel. Her name is Yodel.
Oh.
Okay.
And Trinity is with child. Somebody's child. Did you have a baby?